Hi everyone, hello, and welcome to another Toon Kind of 12 FES. I'm Vamp, and today I'm joined by my lovely co-host Kraken, and I shall be playing the Magic Man, Marcel. And Kraken, why don't you introduce your own character today?
It's wild. I'm also playing a Magic Man.
You Magic Man. It's also wild that it's been like 2 years since I had a verbal FPS, and I still like remember how to do the intro.
It's ingrained in the brains. Listen, like the two of us, we've been kind of going at this since 4 years. Like breaks aside.
Sorry, Breaks
Anyway,
has what now?
not
Breaks
breaks
is
the
alive.
person.
Oh. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right.
This is the
Okay,
same as
anyway,
you talking about Hex last night. And we're like the person.
in any case, this FPS actually does not start in the waking world. It starts a little after a recent game that both Marcel and Craigory were in. I'd heavily recommend you listen, although I will give the caveat that it's 7 hours and 30 minutes long, and that it also has a decent amount of trauma in it. Nothing to the point of extreme angst, but it is on the higher end of the scale.
There will be
Uh,
warnings in the video and timestamps and whatnot.
yes, exactly. In any case, this takes place after the game, which was titled Carnival of Weeds. And I imagine this probably takes either that night or the night after, right? Like after they've all been woken up, after they all like got like um got told what happened, after they all like after the day passes and they actually like go back to sleep.
The actual like restful sleep, yeah. After Lynn is, I'm sure, stopped fussing
Mm.
over
And my
Craig.
question is, which of them would actually get to the carnival first? Because what time does Gregory usually go to bed?
Uh, it's a good question because now that he's kind of a permanent resident of Halloween Town, his sleep schedule has shifted some to just in general reflect the mood of the town. So I think Marcel would end up.
Kraken? Kraken, buddy?
Yep, I'm here. This is why I don't trust the Bluetooth headphones, but I'm here.
It is more consistent though, like although it did cut out entirely there.
Once it's
Um,
done it once, it shouldn't do it again.
all right. But in any case, I know for a fact that Marcel sleeps pretty late. He wakes up early and he sleeps late. This man is like, those people who like function perfectly well with like 5 to 6 hours of sleep.
I'm seething with jealousy because that's kind of my reality, but I'm not functioning.
Yeah, I'm basing this off my sisters. Well, one of them, she like functions perfectly well, sleeping 5 and 6 hours, and that's like her ideal like number of hours to sleep.
It's one of my best buddies too, and it's like, make it look easy. Stop.
Yeah, he wakes up early for his job and he goes to bed late because he likes watching the stars and prefers like nighttime. So like if Craigory isn't like going to bed at like midnight or 1 a.m., like Marcel might actually like come to the carnival later than Craigory.
Jeez. They're sounding pretty one for one, honestly. Do we just want to roll a
Yeah,
D2
let's
to
roll.
like see?
All right, let's roll. If it's a two, Craigory first. If it's a one, Marcel first. All right, I guess
Marcel.
Marcel's coming to the carnival first. So Marcel is in the carnival, and because Hex is not around right now in this FPS, and I don't want to like make any assumptions of anything, Hex is like not around. I'm just gonna say that like for whatever reason, Graves is not around at the moment. Maybe he's, I don't know, busy cleaning up the mess the Vines left behind.
Yeah, if this is happening like literally like the night after, no, Graves is still fixing the goddamn place. They're technically
Yeah,
open for business, I guess, but Jesus Christ. I bet this whole
yeah.
West End is still like closed down for gardening and weeding.
Yeah, and in any case, when Craigory like faces into the carnival, you would notice like Marcel probably helping out with like weeding some of the vines since yikes, TM.
Yeah, makes sense. He's basically going to trot over and do the same. Hey, so fancy seeing you here. Need a hand?
And Marcel like startles and looks up and he smiles and goes, "Oh, Craigory, no, I should be right about done." He he plucks one more weed, throwing it like into like this little like trash basket next to him before looking at Krieger and going, so are are you doing all right?"
Uh, Easy shrug. Like, I mean, yeah, a little better when awake, I guess, just because I don't like remember all this stuff, and it's kind of all hit now all of a sudden when I woke up here. But like, we're out and about and we're running and whatnot, so it doesn't really matter, right?
I suppose so. Um, so like gives Gregory like a smile, and then it's just like, well, if you need to talk to someone, I'm always open to lend an ear. All right.
Eyes narrow slightly. Well, same back at you. You realize.
You got me there.
Mm-hmm.
They are both equally unwilling to talk. In any case, Marcel's kind of like looking around and going, I wonder where Graves is. He probably is still cleaning up most of this mess, isn't he?
Gregory's gonna like look yonder to the west end. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a good guess. He's still in that jungle. He's probably
Hmm.
gonna be
I
busy
was
a bit.
I was hoping to talk to him, but I suppose that's not in the cards right now. He sighs and like puts his hands on his hips. I wonder if that what was that pumpkin's name? Wind
Uh,
Hark something?
Warwick. I
Warwick?
don't know. Maybe that
Oh,
sounds right. I'm a bit too busy beating him up, or you were
yeah, exactly.
too busy lighting his ass.
Friend and like Marcel chuckles and like always, Gregory knows this by now. Chuckles sound like so gosh darn sinister.
Speaking of though, do
And
you think Graves has that
oh,
dunk tank set up yet? You want to go find it?
oh right, the dump tank. All right, let's take a look. Damn it, we don't have Obby and Hex. We can't like have Albert like cameo as like the pumpkin.
Well, it's either we just find it and aren't interested in hearing anything Harwick has to say, or it's generally just not set up yet.
I feel like
It'll
it
happen
would
next time.
probably it probably would be set up just because like like I feel like Graves would 100% like put the thing somewhere where it won't be a nuisance. I won't get in the way.
Roll investigation, both of us, I guess. Find us a pumpkin.
Hmm, that's investigation. That's a 16.
It's going to be an 18 from Gregory. I think between the two of us, we handily.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm
what might
gonna
happen.
make a solid guess that it's easy to find because barkers who aren't occupied with the weeding may be doing their break by venting some frustration.
Yeah,
Just a
I'm
guess.
gonna imagine just a little bit, and I'm gonna imagine that there's a relatively like long line. There's like a
Yeah.
relatively long line, so like Gregory and Marcel are going to like have to stand in the back and like wait for the line to move forward, which would be like you know, which would give them time to talk.
Yeah. It's like one of the few carnival games currently open.
Yep. And as they settle on the back of the line, Marcel like kind of peers over the Parkers and goes, "Looks like we have a long wait ahead of us."
Well, I'm not worried. Just means he's getting dunked a whole bunch. I'll take that. Deserves it.
There's probably another scream and a splash of water right then.
Furious gargling.
It's what he deserves.
Least of, honestly.
In any case, uh, I have we met here in the carnival before?
Uh, me cracking thinking,
I don't think so. I think they might have
no,
missed it here.
yeah. I think Carnival was viewed as the first time any of those characters saw each other in the carnival, despite being at least somewhat regular attendees themselves.
Yeah, I like self visits pretty much every night.
Damn. Craigory then is just gonna like glance at Mersel and be like, "So you seem to know Graves pretty well."
Oh yeah, I how many years has it been? Known him since I was 17.
Huh.
So, well, I'm still 21 because Toons age weirdly. Toons
Still,
age weirdly, but it's that thing where like when he says that he's known Graves since he didn't like stop like aging like his aging didn't slow until he hit like 21, which was the start of like Bunkai Canon. So that was 2020, which means that he's known Graves for about 7 years.
yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, and he's gonna be like, yes, I've known him since I was 17. So that would be about 7 years now.
Huh. No, that makes sense, I guess. I only started showing up here like in the last year.
That makes sense. What brought you to the carnival?
Uh, kind of like scratches at an arm, just like kind of an extension package deal of like my first patron. They work here, but are basically confined to their own tents. So, like it's not a problem per se.
I'm rolling a history real quick because
Uh-huh.
that's a
That
nat
what?
one. I'm using a luck point. God damn it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
25 makes
20.
sense.
Yeah,
Looks
because
at gold. Yeah.
Marcel has been going here for 7 years, and in those 7 years, there's only one specific person that Graves has told Marcel not to go near or interact with. So Marcel tilts his head and he goes, Nirvana?
yeah. Stage name Nirvana. That's them.
Yeah, that's the name I know them by in Carnival at least. I say I know them, but to be quite frank, I know them merely because Graves has told me not to near them.
Good, honestly. Yeah. Wow, the favoritism is strong.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
It's.
losing my mind.
I'm just saying. Like you guys was obvious you knew each other already last night. You've been coming here for a long time. He's told you not to go near like one of the people working here.
Is that well, is that a surprise? I mean, from what I know of Nirvana, why wouldn't he tell me not to go near her?
Well,
I mean,
here's the
you
thing.
didn't go near her
Nirvana
either.
sucks. No.
Yes.
I won't go near them because right now that would be a whole can of worms and be basically the first time I showed up here, I kind of spent half the first night, I guess, working in Nirvana's tent, and Graves kind of just swept in and said, nah, and I haven't been back since, which thank God. He pulled rank. So Graves essentially gave me a break when I most needed it.
That's good, and that does sound like Graves. And again, Mercel's voice does soften when he talks about Graves, and he's just, but that's more or less what he did with me as well, isn't it? He gave you a break, and he told me not to go near her. Don't
That's
see why it would be favoritism.
Kroger's kind of like thinking over how to word this for a moment.
Yeah, because with this example specifically, Marcel isn't wrong. Like
Yeah,
it's it's like yeah, like Graves told me not to go near Nirvana, and Graves like also didn't let Nirvana go near you. That's not fair, so he did it for both of us.
Gregory thinking for a moment as they take another shuffle step forward in line. Graves can't tell every single carnival goer here not to go near Nirvana because that would beat the purpose of having Nirvana work here in the first place if no one ever enters the tent.
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure the only reason he told me specifically was because I was visiting so often.
Still, why bother having Nirvana bound here if you aren't going to use them?
I suppose. I don't actually know what she does in the carnival.
Uh, Similar-ish to what
And
they do in the waking world, tell fortunes.
ah, hmm, I feel like there might be more to it than that, but I'm not sure I want to know.
For what, the dreaming or the waking?
Um, the waking, I suppose?
Ha, yeah, no, there's more going on than waking. But
I think that there's someone to avoid in the waking world as well.
yeah, for sure.
All right. I don't suppose you can give me a name so I know to avoid them. Not that I'll remember it now that I think about it. Actually, never mind. I won't remember this one when we wake up.
True, but like maybe this will permeate subconsciously. It's worth a shot. Don't go
I
making
see.
deals with the thrall.
Ooh, you name dropped the trowel, and you see Marcel's like face snap back at you, and recognition lights in his eyes because his eyes did snap open in surprise, and he says, "The trowel."
Good. Okay, you get it. Yeah,
Yes,
don't
of
do it.
course. Yes, of course I get it. My family was Craigory. Why is your patron the trowel?
Uh, Correction. My patron was the thrall.
Why was your patron the trowel?
Uh, Circumstances that were categorically not my fault.
All right, I'll believe you just because my stars and little comets. The trowel.
It was not my choice.
No, I can't imagine that even you with would go into a pact with the troll.
What do you even
I
mean?
know.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey,
Are
expand
you
on that.
alright?
Hey.
Are you alright?
Uh, yeah. I mean, they're not my patron anymore. That made things a lot better pretty much immediately.
Well, yes, but I mean, results trying to find a way to delicately word this. You you were the troll's warlock. Are you holding up alright? Was everything okay?
Quiet for a moment. Things are better now. A lot better. It wasn't so great during that.
I'm sorry. That shouldn't have happened to you.
Yeah, shouldn't have. But it did get me here, and I am grateful for that. It's I do like this place. I like what it does. I think even though, of course, never remembered it on waking up, I think being here often enough has ended up helping.
And Marcel nods. He understands.
Yeah, Craigory, think about Marcel saying, "Oh, I've been coming here for years," and just be like, "I bet there's a reason for that."
Yeah, yeah,
Craigory
yeah. And
thinking about
Gregory
Marcel's
doesn't
in
even know
that
this.
room.
Yeah, Gregory doesn't even know Marcel visits every night. Which Marcel doesn't actually know how odd that is.
Marcel, it's been made kind of clear that Marcel visits often, and Craigory will accept that. He's like, "Yeah, that sounds reasonable."
Yeah, I think Gregory would definitely be a little more if he knew that Marcel visited every night. But like, yeah, Marcel's just kind of like, I'm glad that you're no longer a patron then. And don't worry about me. I knew of the trial. I know what they're capable of. I'm not planning on running a full of them anytime soon. The one time we met is more than enough for me. Thank you.
I'm going to roll a history real quick.
All
And
right.
I think Marcel could roll. It would be a way higher DC for Marcel, but I think Marcel could roll history too. Because the thing I always forget that I now remembered
21.
21. All right. Jesus Christ. 9 plus 4 from Craigory. Hey, Vamp. Do
Yes,
you remember? I'm
I
forgetting.
do. I remember the
Just right
person that
now.
was with the trial at the time with the mask
Yeah.
on.
Let me just quickly put the actual roll down in chat. But Cell, you have in fact in the waking world ended up in proximity to Thrall like once.
Yes. Wasn't a very happy once.
No. And understandably, at the time, you were very concentrated on both, the task at hand, and the Thrall is right there, and Thrall is a big deal, and also just everything that was going on. The detail that didn't really register as important, because why would it, was at the time Thrall had another body in the tent, a helper. Like when you handed over the deck of many things, Thrall didn't even keep it in hand. They just passed it along to like this servant who took it away.
And yeah.
And I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Continue.
I'm thinking a 21 history check is just enough for like an itch that had begun to scratch in Marcel's brain to ping
Yeah,
as, hey, wasn't there a reason that Gregory may have seemed familiar when you first met him?
yeah. And he kind of like pauses, but I don't think Marcel will bring it up because,
Fair
like,
enough.
yeah, he already knows that Gregory was this guy's warlock. He already knows like everything. He doesn't think there's like any point to him being like, "Oh yeah, you were there when I like went there."
Yeah. Gregory doesn't remember because he, at the time, had been, a little lost in the sauce of his own situation, panicking, and also he had already tried to maybe get the attention of people coming into Thrall's tent, and just at that point he'd kind of just given up on that. Like it wasn't worth
Yeah,
expending the energy. So he just didn't at the time.
yeah, which sucked because if he had, like, Marcel would have tried to help him. Although maybe it was for the better that he didn't, because that might not have ended
Yeah.
well.
We'll take that one to the DMs later to play with like little dolls.
Yeah, we should. That would be a fun ending for it.
But
Anyway,
in the meantime,
yeah. Anyway, Marcel's just kind of like, I'm glad the carnival was a safe space for you, then.
it
Is that how you
really
met
was.
Cassius?
Oh, Cassius, I met Cassius because I had a question that needed answering, and I figured a vampire was actually the best person to help on that.
Ah, I see. Yeah, he seems a much friendlier vampire than the one we last met, and Marcel makes a grimace at that.
They both make a grimace. It's entirely the Soul Eater grimace.
And he's just kind of like, although that's not exactly a high bar to clear, and feel like Cassius might be offended were he to know that I'm even comparing those two.
No. Oh, speaking of that entire thing, though, Matthias is actually doing really well.
Oh, that's good.
Doing
I've been meaning
like
to come visit again, but I've not had the time. How is he doing?
he is. He is honestly doing really well. I feel like maybe one of the reasons Marcel was even in Halloween Town was to come visit Matthias, and then all of that happened, and it got brushed under the rug.
Yeah, exactly. Like Marcel was probably there to drop off some food and like just visit Matthias, because apparently Marcel pings as like non-threatening,
Yeah.
which is
Why would
hilarious
Marcel
considering
ever be threatening? It's not like this
Yeah,
man is a plus 12 intimidation last I remember.
yeah, he has like a plus 13 if I'm not mistaken.
Christ. But yeah, no,
Oh,
Craigory's now like happy, gushing, like, no, like he's been getting out of the house, like getting. I introduced him to someone that I thought would maybe like help initially, but I've been honestly really pleasantly surprised they've been getting along. That's pretty. But
that's good.
like, listen, Matthias did recently. It was an accident. I didn't mean for this to happen so soon, but Matthias did run into Cassius, who is, as we know, a vampire, and it didn't go horribly.
Oh, it didn't? I would have expected Matthias to at least punch him.
Matthias did bite him, but we worked that out.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Um, I'm very glad. Thank you so much for helping take care of him. Agree.
No, like, of course. He's for what he went through. He's honestly doing really good.
That's good. I'm glad that you feel safe enough to in Halloween Town to do all this. Halloween Town does seem like a very nice and friendly place. I've not been able to actually stay very long, but the inhabitants seem very friendly.
They are honestly. I'm glad to be there, and I'm glad it's there at all. Like, I'm offended on Halloween Town's behalf that this Wickar person or whatever distant scream from Harwick as dunked yet again further up in the line. Like, so many aesthetics stolen. Like, insult
Yeah,
to Halloween, honestly, insult to the Pumpkin King. Like, I am tempted to hire Corvett's a lawyer. Like, I will hire Memoir,
I don't know
copyright
if
infringement.
you. I don't know if he has any money to pay you, even if you were to sue him.
That's details. But I know things kind of got derailed about you visiting Matthias because of all this. But like tomorrow, we'll get that sorted tomorrow. Sound good?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to see more of Halloween Town. Halloween Town and Town are actually two towns that I've been wanting to explore more. And at least with Halloween Town, I can actually do that.
Yeah, it's a good place, good people.
Yeah, Gregory. I love Gregory doesn't question what Saul means when he's like, at least I can like actually explore Halloween Town more versus Town.
I think it's he's so busy at the moment being like, oh fuck yes, Halloween Town. I love Halloween Town. I'm so glad people agree. And then it's like a thinks over the actual words. Wait a minute. What makes Halloween Town easy to explore? Have you not yet realized how it shifts around?
Oh, I mean, I'm not exactly saying that it's easy to explore, just that it's possible for me to explore. I can stay in Halloween Town for a day or two. I can't exactly do that for Philstone.
What are you, banned?
No, of course not. In fact, I'm good friends with someone from Philstone. It's just that you know who my patron is, right?
Uh yeah?
Right.
Craigory not knowing much. What does that
So
have to do with it?
you know how my luck works, right? I often get involved in thoughts or stories that are unfolding in my periphery, even if I'm not directly involved. If I am around when it happens, I'm most likely going to get swept up in it somehow.
Uh-huh.
There is a there is a child detective in Philstown, Emil Christie.
He's a detective?
Yeah, the kid detective.
He's like 6.
Yes, he's a detective. Uh, I I don't know. He might not be actually 6, but physically he's 6. I'm not sure about mentally. I know that Tally was in that weird in between space as well. It's hard to tell with tunes.
Craigory's brain is pinging in like 5 different directions at once over those 2 sentences.
In any case, Camille Christie, the kid detective, he similarly gets involved in a lot of plots. He gets involved in murder mysteries specifically, from what I can remember.
He's 6? Murder mystery?
Yes,
Why isn't Lynn losing
yes.
her shit more?
Well, it's his genre. I Marcel gives like a helpless shrug. He seems to try, so and I'm sure like his family would intervene if ever that changed. But regardless, the reason why I can't really stay in Vilstown for a few days exploring or what have you is because Me and Camille have an agreement not to meet with each other or stay in the same space for too long, as we felt like it would be pushing our lucks a little too much.
So I'm
Mainly
sorry,
because
it's kind of really funny.
yes, it is a little funny, but in any case, I can really only go visit Millstone when I know Camille isn't there, and vice versa.
Wild.
Yes, with my luck and with this genre, and with the frequency we both get thrown into plots, if we meet up, we might get, I don't know, we might find ourselves involved with taking down a drug cartel or something. I'm pretty sure something off the line has happened before.
I mean, we got involved with taking down a blood ring, so like I don't I'm
Well,
not necessarily
yes, but
seeing your problem here. It happens anyway.
it doesn't happen every single time we meet.
No. Statistically, more like every what, fifth time?
Yes, with Camille, the likelihood of it happening every single time we meet is much higher.
Huh.
It's best just not to tempt fate. I'm good friends with I believe they're brothers now. Azumi, do you know him?
This is going to have to be a history roll from Craigory because Lynn for sure knows Azumi, but it would Craigory to only have heard the name versus ever met him. This is going to be a higher DC history roll. That's a 12. Craigory thinks, no, that doesn't sound that familiar. I'll be
He is
honest,
also
I haven't. Huh?
oh, you first.
No. Izumi isn't ringing a bell.
He is also a detective. He might actually work with Lynn and Camille. I know he works with Camille. He might work with Lynn. I don't know too much about the going ons in Vilston. If you ever
Kind of
do meet if you ever do meet him, say hi to him from me.
sure. Uh,
Yes. You should absolutely spar with him too.
suspicious squint at Cell.
Marcel gives like Craigory a look, butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Out of character, Azumi would 100% kick Craigory's ass.
Izumi would rend him asunder. Just for fucking fun, because I do enjoy Cell's deception stat. I'm gonna roll insight. Gregory's so fucking suspicious. But he's almost certainly gonna have nothing on this.
Hold on, let me check. This Marcel doesn't have expertise in his deception, so
15 insight.
24 deception. He looks at Craigory and it's like, no, he Craigory, he's just suggesting it. Marcel likes sparring. That's probably how he bonds with Azumi. You should absolutely spar with Azumi.
He thinks you would be a fun, healthy, evenly enough matched pair to spar with. This totally isn't tricking Gregory into getting his shit stopped.
Avi and Cal, hold on.
It's honestly the funniest possible direction Azumi mentioned could have gone.
Yeah.
Don't mind us or updating Avi.
The cane
You should
instinct
starve
between
them
them
if
is
you found
so
them.
strong. The cane instinct between them is so strong. Like Saul doesn't have the strong of a cane instinct with Gil or Sandy or Bob because they're all like, so much older or younger than him. But Gregory and Sal like occupies this so close in age space that like
You're trying to call them like twin cousins.
yeah.
So it's like, oh, I can't not bully him just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of mischief. Yeah, Sal's just like, yeah, you should spar with him when you guys meet. It's fun.
And you should let me know, so I'll be there.
He's not gonna say that because he feels like that would be too obvious.
That would show his hand.
Yeah,
Well,
I am
Gregory
so
is
sorry,
sus, but
Gregory.
hmm?
I'm so sorry, Gregory.
Don't be sorry. This is great.
Amazing.
Well, since Gregory can't tell, he fucking suspects that something is up with this general statement, but he can't tell what. So he's just going to switch topic. You mentioned Tally. Have you like you said you know her? Have you seen her? This kid?
Well, yes. I mean, she's my niece.
And like she's good, nothing whack has happened since busting open that whole keys operation.
Yeah, I have to ask Abby here because I know that's Tally like during the events of the Keys thing, Tally was like away, but I think she would be back by now, right? Even if the actual like plot is still in limbo. Because like I know the limbo plot happened like in universe timeline wise, it happened back like when the Keys thing happened.
Cool, cool, cool. Tally's too occupied by other things to be bothered by this plot.
It would have taken her a few months to get back. When was Talon still? It was last year, right?
Yeah, but timey wimey shenanigans. Point is,
Yeah,
I'm
point
thinking
is
the
she's
answer
probably
Tally's
yeah, it's
not been
probably
bothered by this.
yeah, she's probably been back by now, so I'll be like vague about it. But Marcel's just like, yeah, she's good. She did like leave on a trip like sometime back, but she's back now. She got a redesign, if you believe it or not. She aged up to preteen, I believe, age.
Well, hey, congratulations, good for her.
I know she didn't grow up for a while, so it's a good thing. Although I'm a little sad that we only got to have her as a kid for 2 years, 3 years.
Better than none years, I guess.
I suppose so. Um, in any case, yeah, we live in the same place.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
Mhm. Yeah, my siblings moved into my apartment a while back, so we live together now.
Yeah, that's nice for you.
Hmm. It's nice to have people to come home to.
Yeah,
Um,
be
for
honest,
those,
Gregory's mind is wandering back towards Cell's nightmare room.
it's fine. Cell's just kind of like, although speaking of that whole keys operation, I'm still not fully comfortable knowing that whoever it was that was helping keys out still out there.
Yeah, about that.
Hmm?
It I kind of didn't clock it at the time, but like that wasn't the only ink operation that I have a name actually. I was able to connect this a bit later when I was talking over this all with Lynn, but that like wooden that wooden lady, it wasn't just keys she was gathering like ink and colors from. There was also another operation going on that that's also shut down, but we don't know where she is.
That's concerning.
Yeah, yeah, and the common theme is was also concerning. So I guess keep an eye out for that because she's still out there.
Yes, I'll definitely will. Knowing my luck, will run full of it eventually.
Considering how you further just expand on how your luck works, haha, maybe.
Mm. Uh, in any case, Marcel's looking at the line. They're still like screaming from the start. They're really taking their time, aren't they?
Gregory like getting on tiptoes, which Marcel's taller anyway, but I think everyone's getting like 5 shots each. Yeah, these barkers, I think they deserve it.
They do after the whole incident with the vines. I'm glad that Graves didn't lose concentration and that he was able to hold it back.
Yeah, I'm
I can't imagine how much more
glad.
harmful it would have been otherwise.
Oh, yeah, I'm frankly just glad none of us went in there alone.
Yeah, Marcel winces at that. Graves mentioned that he was only intending to pull Cassius in, wasn't he? And we were just lucky to be there. He's fidgeting with his like patron sigil on his hood as he says that.
Gregory elbows him lightly. Yeah, haha, lucky. I
Hmm. Well, that was when we were lucky. Have all my I have a lot of faith in Simon and Cassius, but alone?
alone in a nightmare specifically tailored to you.
Yeah,
I would not have been able to do that.
I don't think any of us could. And even if we had managed to go through our nightmare rooms alone, there's no way any of us would have been able to fight Pumpkin alone.
I am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay.
You good?
And yeah, Gregory's kind of like fidgeting with the sleeve. It's like, I mean, by the sounds of it, everyone else who did end up there was alone, and like none of them got out on their own.
As the
So
screams that we heard.
yeah, so
Yeah,
you know, thank you.
thank you. He else is that.
Yeah, you know, thank you for helping out.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to thank me for that. Uh, you helped me out much more during my own nightmare.
Well, it's nothing. It's harder to be scared of something that isn't tailored to you, right?
Yeah.
Although, Gregory kind of winces like, mine was probably yours was very much tailored. I'll be frank. I don't know what that was all about. I think anyone could be freaked out by mine.
Mm, yes, I am free. I hope not to see that house ever again, but it was just a dream.
Yeah.
And as like they probably lapse into a bit of quiet as they like look forward and like towards like the start of the line.
Which they're probably getting close. I'm thinking about like, do you figure they're next up? Do you figure they're getting close up? Do we want to like roll a, I don't know, D4 to see how in the line they are?
I feel like they're probably halfway if every single one's taking like 5 shots.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Moving right along.
Yep. And as they're like moving along, Marcel's just like, yeah, I'm just glad that that's all settled, that the carnival is fine, the Graves is fine, that, well, we're all fine as well. That could have gone really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No guff on Cassius. Connection to the carnival or not? Still one person and still, frankly, kind of a kid. Yeah.
How old is he?
Funny question.
Hmm?
Because, like, I mean, you look at him, he looks young, right? But also, vampires don't age. Uh,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
he's also fairly new at being a vampire, so not old. Younger than us, for sure.
Hmm. I did figure he might be when he reacted to me giving him candy as patronizing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, there's kind of a bit of an ego you got to watch out for with him.
Mm. And you knew him from Matthias biting him? Or did you know him from before?
No, I knew him from before. It's just that the biting incident was how Matthias met his first vampire since,
Keys.
yeah.
What did you end up doing to those paintings you stole from him, by the way? Did you burn them or something?
No. What do you take me for? No. I'm not gonna burn paintings.
Well, some of them are self-portraits, so
Yeah, but they're still like art. They're still that'd be like burning books.
they both shudder at the mention of burning books.
Yeah, like it's knowledge. It's a type of knowledge. I
But it's a self-portrait of
can't.
Keys.
Yeah, but so I'm see I'm serious. I can't.
That makes sense. At least probably don't take them out near Matthias.
Oh yeah, no, I think realistically Craigory has like either they've been like collecting dust somewhere deep buried or he's attempted to like sell them. I don't know who the fuck would want them. So I think it's more the first option.
Yeah, makes
You can't
sense.
destroy them. No one's really going to want them, so they're just collecting dust somewhere. If someone else wants to burn them, do it without his knowledge because he will get upset.
Yeah, Sal's not like invested enough to want to burn them.
You open up a door
Yeah.
somewhere in storage and just keys jump scare.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, no, Asel like she's just like, well, these are all worries for some other time. We're here to have a good day. And he kind of looks back, which the line's probably starting to edge forward again.
Oh yeah,
And
scream, splash.
yeah. And Cell's just well, I hope I get to meet you more in the carnival itself now.
Yeah, if you're coming as often as it sounds here, I'm frankly surprised it hasn't happened sooner. But
Yeah,
still, big place.
yeah, that. And quite honestly, when I visit here, I'm often just spending time with Graves.
Huh.
Huh?
Craig's got like that kind of sly look on his face again.
Gregory?
I'm just saying, Graves doesn't exactly wander around the carnival a whole lot, and it's not everyone who just hangs out with him every time he's here. Like the favoritism. So
Yes.
you're not just an average carnival goer, buddy.
Well, I do know Graves, yes, but you might be blowing things a little out of proportion, Gregory.
People don't know Graves. The only reason I know Graves is because Graves likes to spite Nirvana, and getting me out of there while I'm here was a way to do that. And like
It
I'm
does sound like him, admittedly. But no, I mean he we're friends.
mhm.
We're friends. Marcel nods. You wait a little bit. That's all Marcel says. That's all he has.
Gregory mentally calculating, do I want to break the news on what I think is going on here? Like, how much does it break Marcel if I just go like, dude, I've seen this happen to me. That's your fucking dad.
Keep in mind that he has not yet called Win his uncle actually.
Yeah. I'm aware of terminal Marcel syndrome in this area.
In any case, like I said, the only reason well, the only reason I know him is because I visit every night.
Well, every night?
Well, when I can, yes.
What do you mean when you can't? Like, you choose to come here or you
Well,
just don't every night?
well, I choose to come here, yes, but then there have been times when I was indisposed and unable to come here. Like that time when a nightmare demon kidnapped me and put me to sleep for a week.
What?
Nightmare demon. It wasn't Graves. It wasn't Graves.
So
It
what,
was
were you in like that for a week?
well, I was I actually don't remember the nightmares very well, but I was knocked out for a week, yeah. And that I from what Graves told me out there, I definitely did not come to the carnival for that week. But unless unless I'm being sacrificed by someone so they can become a god, or I'm just straight up unconscious, I guess, and too tired to go anywhere, I try to come here pretty much every day.
Gregory's like massaging his temples.
It's not it's pretty easy to come here too. I mean, the heart is very loud.
So my patron literally my old patron literally works here, and not even I was ending up here every night. And like the reason I showed up here was because sheer utter the proximity and servitude to them.
That's horrifying, Craigory.
What you just said is horrifying. What happened to you in that house that means you're here every day?
Uh, would you believe it if I say that it's unrelated? I met Graves after I already left. It's still kind of like waves a hand. It's I just didn't have a lot of friends back then, and this place was really nice. It was frightful, but there was no he's struggling to find words.
It
There
lets
was
you
no
get out.
there was no expectation of harm.
Yeah, like pressure cooker,
It
letting the
was
steam.
nice. So I visited a lot, and you can
I
roll an insight for me.
will do that, even as he's saying. I would argue that house isn't unrelated. It was still like
It was still the
your
cause, yeah.
designated tailor-made nightmare.
The house was Marcel's Marcel's like childhood in that house basically made it that when he came across the Nightmare Carnival, he like really, really enjoyed it. And I'm waiting on your insight. Yeah, that works, I think. He's not actively decepting. So like Craigory Craigory remembers because like I think Craigory remembers that they met in childhood.
Yeah,
And like, so you know Marcel's family ain't great, TM. Like you remember the kind of talks you and Marcel used to have where you were two babies and talking about like the spells that your respective parental figures were like writing down or cooking up and like you didn't know what the spells did, so it was two babies and Gregory was saying something like, "Ooh, Cell, I saw something called Soul Jar," and Cell's like, "Oh,
yeah.
that sounds so cool. I saw something like yes."
I heard there's a spell like inflict wounds times 10, and they're both like, "Yay!"
Yeah. So like Gregory definitely has the context to know that their respective families aren't great, right? And like so okay, picture this. You're a runaway kid, presuming that Sal did run away. You're a runaway kid whose childhood wasn't happy, who was so scared of that house that the moment like he stepped into that stream, he started disassociating. And then like one day you wake up and you're like in this fun, nice carnival, which is like frightening, but not frightening in the bad way. And remember, Sel met Graves when he was 17. He wasn't even an adult yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wonder why he visited as much as he could. And with the 16, Craigory, do you not remember earlier when Marcel said, "Oh yeah, like it's not hard to get to the carnival. I can hear the heart."
yeah, that's also unusual.
Yeah, that's also unusual.
Gregory, part of what helps Gregory understand this pretty well is that like the carnival is also a safe space for him. Like it was also, especially while he was trapped, like with Thrall in their manor, it was the only time he was ever free of them, and they
Yeah.
couldn't command him to. They couldn't get at him. Graves got in the way and said, "Nuh, go along, run along, and like play some carnival games."
Yep.
This was the safe place.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
It was
Yep. Yep.
better to be here and asleep than awake and terrified. and he
Yep.
could vent some of that terror here. He could bleed it
Yep.
off.
Yep. 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 And again,
Yeah,
17 at that time. He hadn't even met Baba yet.
man. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think that Gregory can semi-craft a picture. It's still missing a few key pieces. So
he gets the vibe and he understands the vibe because he also has the vibe.
yeah. And
Therapy, the
actually,
carnival.
yeah, and actually, I'm kind of like roll something real quick. That's the one. I think you might like offhandedly mention it. Like as they're walking closer to the Tefan, so I was like, yeah, no, I've been visiting the carnival for a while. Back when I first came here, I considered any lapses into quiet and before just like yesterday before like just waving one hand going, it's not important now.
Uh, you considered what? Staying here?
Yeah.
I thought about that too. Um,
Oh, you did?
when I dreaded waking up, I wanted to
Mm,
stay here. Even after waking up was no longer being put directly back into the horror zone, um, Thrall was still my patron and still had that power over me. And I was, I
terrified, right?
considered asking Graves to, if he had the power to sever that and replace it. I really
Mm,
thought about
I considered that as well. It's funny. It was only once I left that all that terror actually hit me. I was fine actually being in the house when I grew up. But for a while there, like you said, I did consider asking to consider asking, I suppose. I didn't have my pact with the wishing star yet. I hadn't met Miss Weber yet. I was constantly afraid, thinking that I wasn't going to get away with this, that the other shoe was going to drop any moment now.
it. Yeah,
So you know, felt like something to consider, even if it would mean that you even if it would mean that I wouldn't be back in the material plane.
yeah. Well,
Keep in
by the
mind
sound,
when Marcel says he considered joining, he did not mean joining as a warlock. He meant joining.
I think Krieger picks that up when he mentions the even if I don't wake back. It's like, oh, we were talking about slightly different things, but
Yeah,
the
because
same principle applies.
Craigory was thinking warlock. He was thinking something like Cassius's deal.
Yeah,
Marcel more so means being
Carney.
being someone at the carnival, which is two separate things.
Yeah, related but separate.
Yep, slightly adjacent.
Well, I'm Glad things worked out for you the way they did then.
Mm. I do have Graves to thank for that.
Did he reject that?
Well, no, but if he were, I suppose that's ironic, but his presence here helped, helped and gave me the strength to keep going, ironically enough.
Scream, splash.
I, I think there was a point where I was very close to asking him outright, but one day he asked me what the rain and sun and stars were like outside. And so I told him, and I think telling him that made me realize just how much I would be giving up.
Yeah.
Still love the carnival, but I have a life out there now.
Yeah.
I actually have people to go back to.
Yeah. I'm glad.
And I'm glad for you as well. Although,
Yeah.
if Trell is the patron and Grace isn't your patron, who are you the warlock of right now?
Uh I'm an agent of chaos.
Oh, congratulations. Is that why you have
Yeah.
antlers?
Uh yeah. That yeah, those did show up upon making the pact.
They're cool. Do they shed velvet like actual deer antlers?
Uh don't know yet. Haven't had them
How, do-
long enough to find out.
how you've had these for a while? What do you mean you've not had them long enough to find out?
Me making sure I crack and heard correctly, Marcel asked if they'd like shed yet, or
He's thinking, yeah, he's asking like, how would you know? Like, you've had this for a while, right? Because like when I first met you, you already had them. How come they've not gotten long enough for them to shed yet?
don't know how deer actually work. I don't know if it's
So shedding velvet is that thing where her here let me like read it off Google for you.
oh my god.
Shedding velvet. All right. So da, 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 da. So antlers like do grow and they get
Yep.
lost every year, right? And as
They
long
sure have
and
been
once
growing. I
yeah, they
think
grow
they're
and get
reaching the
lost.
point. Yeah. I think they're reaching
And
the
once the
hasn't happened yet.
yeah, when the previous and then the previous and then once they are lost, they kind of just pop off. No pain, no nothing, right? So like and then they grow new antlers. But these new antlers aren't like grown like wholesale. They're actually covered with a thin layer of fuzzy tissue called velvet, right? It's like this fuzzy tissue helps to protect the antlers, but also it contains like a lot of blood and like else and stuff to like help in the growing, right?
Messy.
But once the antlers are fully grown, the fuzzy tissue have to go off. So the deer will often like rub the fuzzy tissue like off like on trees or logs or what have you, which does not hurt to be clear. Like I said, the antlers and the velvets don't hurt a deer. At most like it itches. But that's what brings what we call shedding velvet.
So here's
Yeah.
That totally canon and also the funniest possible answer. They appeared like fairly fully formed. They've continued to grow since then. I am waiting for the funniest possible moment for them to pop off.
Amazing. Um, so I guess yours might just grow at a different rate.
I guess I don't know. I had to get used to them first. Like my hitbox increased.
Well, if they do eventually pop off, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to frame the antlers, or I mean, new ones will grow, but what are you going to do with the ones that popped off?
Um, he does think about this one. He was like, Lucille and I politely pretend that I don't notice this, but like I think Lucille would have a fun time chewing on one of them.
All
I
right.
think.
Um.
Boy,
Okay, and he'll take that in stride.
I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. They may not even do that. I don't know.
Hmm.
And
You know,
hey Marcel, all of a sudden a ball is getting shoved in your hands. We've reached the front of the line.
they have, which means um, throwing, and Marcel does hand the ball over to Craigory.
Oh, what? You don't want first
Uh,
dibs?
I think, well, he's screaming in pain. I think being a fire elemental, the water might actually be hurting him, and I don't feel comfortable. Right, Paul?
He put you in Al Gore Manor. You don't want to dunk
Yes.
him.
I don't. It'd be like dunking someone in boiling oil, wouldn't it? That's step too far for me.
All right, and we're back to these. Can you
All
hear
right,
me?
hello. Alright. Yeah, I can hear you.
Good, good, good. All right,
But yeah,
well,
no, you
Marcel's
sending.
having his moral quibbles. Craiger's gonna think about it for a moment, kind of shrug, and then he's going to attempt to make a toss.
Yeah, roll to hit. I guess it would be funny if you not won, a
Do I
not
treat this
one
as a
or a
spell
not
attack,
20. That would be fun.
mod, or
Mm.
well, it's a 19 on the dice anyway.
Oh my god, that's so hot. Yeah, Crackery's nailing this hit.
Splash.
Splash, scream, and like Ursula like watches, and the Parkers like cheer, and he's just like, "So you're going to take 5 shots like every other Parker here, then?"
I'm thinking it's only fair that I take like a shot for each of us. Yeah. So 4.
All right. So what? All 4 of us and Graves?
Sure. And Graves.
That's 5. 4 more to go.
Yep. But the 2 on the dice, that's gonna miss.
I feel like this one might actually like bounce off and hit Gregory in the nose.
Ah,
You
Harwick's
good?
answering cackle. That's the first time it hit the nose. Try again. Third shot.
Third shot.
That's 14 on the dice.
I
Think,
feel like that one hit. Yeah.
yeah, it's like on the edge. Still goes in. 16. Bonk.
That hits.
One more. Uh, 13. It's kind of like
That
borderline.
hits.
Sure.
Yeah, that
Splash.
hits. Splash and like Asi splashes into the water one more time. Like the Parkers cheer, and Marcel like pats Gregory on the head and is like, "Did a good job."
Yep. Dust hands.
He did a little job. Good job, my Kohai.
Call
And
that
here's where
even
I
for now.
asked if Gregory even knows Japanese.
No, not a
He
word.
doesn't. Yeah.
Well, me Kraken for sure does not. Gregory does have the linguist feat. Japanese is not listed on DMV, so like very technically no.
Japanese/Ghiblian. Like he does know when is the thing.
He does know when, so I feel like he's not like fluent or proficient, but like especially in terms of endearment, Win would use terms of endearment. He knows
He
that
he
category.
here's where I'm like, do you know what Kohai means, Kraken?
Me Kraken, no.
So it's like, do you know what senpai means?
Yes.
Alright, Kohai is the opposite of that. It's what senpais would use to refer to like younger underclassmen or little kids.
Bitch. Gregory's been little brothered yet again.
It's not quite little brother because that would be like Ototo. This is specifically like Kohai, which is like for a mentee, an underclassman, or when you're like being Marcel and you're bullying Gregory.
I think this is going to have to be like a history or an intelligence roll to see if he knows.
Yep.
He knows it's Giblin. He may or may not know exactly the context and connotation of what this means.
It was accompanied by Cell like patting his head, and there was a certain tone to his voice.
Certain condescension.
Certain teasing. Oh?
Okay, intelligence and history are both the same mods, so that's going to be a +4 to a 13. So, 17.
17. Yeah, you for sure know what Marcel said.
Turns and just kind of like bats Marcel's patting hand and be like, hey, what? Really? No. Hey.
Mhm. And Marcel turns to the Parkers and is like, look at my little Kohai that I taught him everything he knew.
You little. Kind of
And
like,
then he's speed walking away.
good, because Krager was like going to grab the lapels of the coat and kind of like shake him.
That is
Which
if
means
he
now,
can't catch up to Marcel when
yeah,
Marcel is speed
jogging
walking.
after with your long legs. Yeah, no, get chased.
Yeah, Marcel who's half rogue, just bonus action dash, action dash.
Fucking rogues.
Rogues. Yep. He's gonna he's gonna flee. And I think we can end the FPS here unless you have anything else you wanna add.
Yeah, no, Marcel. Yeah, it's absolutely chasing down. If Craigory catches him, Marcel's getting a noogie, because how dare. Hey, no, how dare you?
The hilarious part is they both know for a fact that Gregory is older than Marcel.
Yeah,
Like, I'm pretty
it's
sure they know
once
that
again,
Gregory's older.
yeah, they both fucking know this. Gregory always thinks of, yeah, I'm like the older brother slash more experienced person. I'm like the guy in that. And then like half the time people are just like, no, baby brother, little guy.
Mhm. I love Gregory just being like, both Gregory and Marcel just pointing at each other, being like, "Yeah, that one's the baby."
Pointing at each other, bitch.
Yeah, I'm good to end the affairs there if you are.
Well, there are now spells being slung.
And the camera slowly pans out from Gregory giving Marcel a noogie in as like the blue fires of the carnival burn around them.
And one final distant, like a Wilhelm scream from Harwick, and we cut to black.
Hmm. And that's a wrap.
Sure is. Cousins game. All right. Let's go
Thank
charge some headphones,
you.
and thanks for listening, everyone.
Hey, thank you for listening. We all hope you guys had fun.
Yep. Bye bye.
Bye.